Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are going to dive into a classroom strategy that is honestly so simple, but it is so incredibly powerful. I'm talking about something that can really, truly transform your teaching.
I know. It sounds almost too simple to be true, right? But seriously, what if just one single sentence, a well-crafted one written right there on your board for everyone to see, what if that was the key? The key to unlocking student focus, deepening engagement, and seriously boosting achievement? Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into.
So the answer to that big question, it really just boils down to one super powerful concept: clarity. Think about it. In the complex, sometimes chaotic world of a classroom, clarity is the bedrock. It's the foundation that real learning is built on. It's the difference between your students just, going through the motions and students actually understanding the why behind what they're doing.
And look, this isn't just a gut feeling or some nice idea. The research here is crystal clear. A huge meta-analysis back in 2015 found that teacher clarity, get this, accounts for a staggering 13% of the variance in student learning. 13%. Just stop and think about that for a second. That is a massive piece of the achievement puzzle. And it's something we, as teachers, can directly influence with just a little bit of intentional practice.
All right, so let's dig into the evidence a bit more, because this isn't about jumping on some new trendy bandwagon. No, this is about embracing a strategy that is solidly backed by years and years of educational research.
So when students know exactly what they're supposed to be learning, researchers like Fisher and Frey have found it just sparks this whole range of amazing outcomes. I mean, we're talking about enhanced motivation, right? Because now they have a clear target to aim for. We see improved performance because their efforts are suddenly super focused. They even develop better self-regulation skills. And maybe, just maybe the most important part, they start to take real, genuine ownership of their own learning journey.
And by the way, this is not some newfangled idea. A study from the British Journal of Educational Psychology, and this goes all the way back to 1998, found a direct, undeniable link. Just the simple act of setting goals and posting them where kids can see them, it boosts both what students can achieve and their ability to manage their own learning. It really is a tried and true strategy.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? How do we take all this powerful research and turn it into something we can use in our classrooms, like every single day? Well, that's where Chris Perry's inclusive classroom framework comes into play, and specifically what he calls predictable practice number 4.
And here it is. It's just so beautifully simple and powerful. Learning goals are articulated, posted, and reflected upon. Let's really notice those 3 key actions, okay? It's not enough to just have a goal written down somewhere in your lesson plan. It has to be articulated, spoken clearly. It has to be posted, visible to everyone. And this is the crucial part. It has to be reflected upon. It's a full circle.
At the end of the day, the big idea is this. We're trying to build a purposeful learning environment. That's the goal. When every single student in your room can answer those 2 simple questions, what am I learning right now, and why does it matter? That's when the magic really happens. You're shifting the entire vibe of your classroom, moving from just compliance to real, genuine engagement.
Okay, so hopefully you're sold on the why. Now let's talk about the how. How do we actually make this happen in the real world? Well, the framework gives us a really simple 3-step plan for success.
Okay, step 1, you identify. Before the lesson even starts, you've got to get laser focused on what that specific, measurable learning goal is. Step 2, you articulate and post it. Say it out loud, write it big on the board, pop it in the slide deck. Whatever you do, make it absolutely impossible to miss. And then step 3, and this is the part that closes the whole loop, you guide reflection. At the end of the lesson, you bring everybody back to that goal. You ask, so, how'd we do? Where are we on our path to getting this?
All right, let's bring this all home. What I really want you to hear is that this isn't about some massive, time-sucking overhaul of how you teach. Not at all. Think of it like a small hinge that swings a very, very big door. This is a change you can literally make starting tomorrow. This is the transformation we're aiming for. You're taking your students from a place of confusion to a place of absolute clarity. You're shifting them from being passive listeners to being purposeful, active drivers of their own learning. It's a huge shift. So, I'm going to leave you with one final question to think about. When you walk into your classroom tomorrow, what's the very first learning goal you're going to articulate and post for your students? What's it going to be?